In the third task, we'll have to write a code that will check a given date from that is read from standard input in the format first the day, then the month, then the year, separated with an empty space over here. And on the standard output here in the notebook, it will print just yes or no. If yes, it will be if the date is correct and possible, and no if the date is not correct. So we will create our own date validator over here. So when deciding whether the date is correct or no, we have to consider the following factors. The month should be between January December, or the month should be a number from 1 to 11 to 12. Then the number of days, we should check whether the number of days corresponds with the real number of days in a given month. So the number of days, for example, in January can be from 1 to 31. It cannot be something that's negative, or it cannot be something that's bigger than 31. And also, if the month is February, we should make sure and check whether the year is a leap year. A leap year are the years who are divisible with 400, or they're divisible with 4 but not with 100. So let's for beginning, let's start and write a method that will check this, whether a given year is leap year. So we'll create a method named isLeapYear, which will return a boolean that represents true if the year is leap and false otherwise. So we'll just return the whole logical statement at once. The condition says the year, when divided with 400, it should be divisible, or the remainder from the division should be 0. Or, so we'll write or, the year is divisible with 4, but when we have but, that means logical and, is not divisible with 100. So when modulo 4, modulo 100, it's not 0 because it's not divisible. Let's first test this method. For example, the 2020 was a leap year. We should get true for this. 2022, for example, is not a leap year. 2024, it will be again a leap year. So let's now go back to the start of the task. So we'll have to read a date. We'll read the full date as a string. We'll read it from input. And when after reading the date, we should get the day, the month, and the year from the date. So we will split this string with a delimiter empty space. So if you print, for example, if you print date etc. split by empty space, let's see what we will get. For example, 12th January 2021, we get them as 12, as 1, and as 20. So this we'll name this as parts variable. And now each of the 3 parts will set it into a variable for the day. So the day is the element on the 0th position over here. But we'll also, as you can see, it's clearly that it's a string. So we'll cast it into an integer. We'll get the month, which is on the 1st position. And we'll get the year, which is on the 2nd position in these parts. So now if we print the day, the month, and the year, we should get 3 integers. Here they are. The first thing that we should check in this task is whether the month is actually possible. So if the month is greater than 1 and less than 12, less than or equal than 12, in that case, we can continue with the other checks. Otherwise, if the month is not valid, we will print directly no, because it's not valid, of course. So for example, if I say let's actually continue to the other check. other checks. Now we have to check whether the number of days, so the day variable, corresponds to the number of days in the specified month. For that case, for that situation, we will declare a list which will be named days in months. And on the zeroth position, we'll have the number of days in January, then in February, then in March, then in April, then in May, then in June. I hope I didn't mistake anything. There it is. Okay, then June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And this will help us to check if our day is correct with the month. So let's first ignore the leap year scenario. We'll add it later. So let's create a variable limit with which will be uh, taken from the list days in month from the position of the month, but -1. Why we do it that way? Because for the first month, it's on the zero position. For the second month, it's on the first position. For the third month, it's on the second position. For the fourth month, it's on the third position, etc. For December, it's on the 11th position. That's why we are decreasing this month value over here for 1. And now, after we have the limit of days for that particular month, we will check if the days are greater or equal than 1 and the days are less or equal than the limit. If that's the scenario, we'll print yes, because this date is obviously valid. Otherwise, we'll print no. So let's test this until now, and then we'll add the last part of this task. That's the check for leap year. For example, the 13th month, which doesn't exist, will get a no. So this condition is checked over here from the code. Let's now see something that's regular. Days. Okay, I have a mistake over here, typo. It's just day, not days. So this is now a valid date. But let's try something larger than 31 for the month of January. Now we have here extra. So 32nd of January 2021 we'll get a no for this. And now if I try 29th of February 2020, we'll get a no, even though this is actually a correct date. So what we have to do now in this kind of situation, if the year is leap, we will just increase this number to 29. So we can do that check over here. So if the year is leap, what we will do is in days in months list on the position 1, because that's where February is, we will just add 1. So it will be 29. So let's try it now and see what will happen. So 29th February 2020, we will get that this is a valid date as well. And this is the whole code for how you can verify whether a given date is valid or not in Python, or in this case in a Google Colab notebook.